Last step in our configuration. Now that we have configured everything and the Azure Kubernetes is ready to expose the services, now we need to manage the access to those services. And the way we're going to do it is using the API management. And they, well, the API management is going to allow us to manage and to control all the access into the or services in the Azure Kubernetes as it is in this diagram. And let's start by creating the API management. Create API management service. The resource group is gonna be Microsoft Azure East. The resource name is gonna be management service. It has to be a unique name, the name of my organization, and my email. For this purpose, we're gonna be using just basic. Developer is okay. Let's just review and create it. Monitoring, we don't need it. Scale, just one. We don't need a manage it identity right now. And we just create it. While the deployment is in progress, let's read about it. The Azure API Management. It is a fully managed service that helps the APIs to be securely exposed. Well, it provides us by providing a set of tools and services that create publishing and manage APIs as well as enforcing security. It helps scaling and it also monitors the usage of the APIs. Um, it has several components, and inside those components we have the develop portal that users have access to the API management to set them up. It has also APIs and the gateway that manage all the access to our internal components. The API gateway, as we said before, it enables security. It also helps routing, observability, and caching. It acts as a facade, the entry point for all our APIs. It has also the security validation. It can enable JSON Web Tokens and certificates. And we're gonna be configuring the security in our APIs using the API gateway. It also helps to apply rate limits, operational transforming on requests and responses. It also helps caching responses to minimize latency and reduce load balancer services. And it collects the output logs, and it helps to have control on the metrics and monitor. Let's check. It's still in deployment. One big concept on the Azure management are the policies. The policies helps you add rules into the inbound and outbound requests and responses. Um, in Azure management policies, we have four sections. That is the inbound, the backend, the outbound, and on error. And this diagram is showing the client sends a request. It first reaches the inbound. After the inbound, it sends the request to the backend. The backend is also inside the API management, and after it passes the inbound and backend, it goes directly to the service that we're calling, and it gets back on the outbound for managing the response. If some error happens here, we can also return an error. And for example, we're gonna be creating some policies in the inbound for the JSON Web Token, and if it doesn't passes, it is gonna return a 401 error. Also, this is gonna be using the the portal API, but we can also write the policies using XML files, and as we can see here, the code shows a policy where you can add headers to the requests and responses, or validate requests and responses. This is how we write policies. This is for the inbound. We have also the backend, and it changed the request before forward to the backend service. Once the response gets back from the service, we have the outbound, and if some error happens, we have the on error. We can change the policies in the portal, and the portal is the way we're going to be also writing some policies. We have here some examples, how to write a mocking endpoint using the inbound, how we can add headers to the response. We can also add rate limiting in this example with the product level Azure management. We can add global policies. This only means that we're going to be applying the policy to the whole APIs instead of just choosing a concrete API.